Hello, Carrots here. Welcome to episode 10 of Carolyn and Friends. Carolyn's traits are adventurous, brave, athletic, charismatic, loves to swim, and her lifetime wish is seaside saviour. She's well on her way to achieving her lifetime wish, but one of the badges that we're after at the moment is the badge to have 5 parties on a houseboat, and I've decided it might be a good idea for her to do some work on her mixology skill, because if you're going to throw a great party, you should be able to mix a great drink. Well, that's my idea anyway. So that's what I've got her doing. She's down in her new basement. It's quite a small basement, which she gets to by going down the spiral staircase that's in the centre of her greenhouse. And the greenhouse is out in her backyard. Looks like she's still got a bit to learn. She hasn't been working on her mixology for very long yet. This is immediately after the last attempt at throwing a party on a houseboat. Of course, she doesn't live on the houseboat yet, and she's going to need to do that if she wants to get the badge for having 5 parties on a houseboat. But the other badge she's after today is to run a 0-star resort for 7 days. And I know several of you were very interested in what I did to Hobart's resort. Initially, I was only going to flash the badge, but I went back into an old save today and I got a good look at the state the resort was in to make it 0-star. There were a few more things I could have done, like remove all the lights, but I didn't get around to that yet, and I got the 0-star badge. It's never again run a 0-star resort for 7 days. The things I did to get the badge are, sacked all of the maintenance workers, and I went into Bug and I got all of that garbage and piles of garbage of all sorts out of Bug. And I put the prices up as high as I could there. It's like the sort of prices you'd pay at a luxury resort. Not quite sure what that thing is. That's cockroaches, by the way. Maybe it's a bomb waiting to go off. I think it might have something to do with the Ghostbuster career, but I'm not sure. I still have the buffet tables, but there's no food on them. The only employee is the desk clerk, and I have to have him to have it still as a resort. But there's piles of dirty laundry everywhere as well, and there's no laundry facilities. So I got the dirty laundry out of Bug and a couple of tombstones. There's some more insects and a turtle circling there. And the luxury accommodation, which is out on the jetty, I actually removed the bed and broke the all-in-one toilet, so that wasn't going too well for them either. See, there's no maintenance workers to clean up after them, so that sausage rolls or hot dogs, whatever they are, just sit there and just fester. What a mess. That's a pile of scrap. You could actually come here and collect some scrap. It's almost as good as the junkyard. And then when we go inside, you'll see that nobody's been cleaning. There's the desk clerk. He's the only employee. If you go inside, we'll see no one's been cleaning the toilets or fixing up the broken plumbing. Most of the plumbing is broken and it's all dirty. And this is a top-priced resort. It is the most expensive resort that they have in the game. And this is the state it was in when I got the 0-star badge. That's the jetty. We're going to have a look inside that. That's the luxury accommodation, by the way. It's got a pile of dirty laundry out the front of it. The bed's gone missing, and the all-in-one bathroom is broken, and that's what's all over the floor. There's piles of dirty laundry in there too. But the view is still beautiful. You can hear the flies buzzing. And there's a beautiful view of the moon rising. Or setting, actually. The moon is setting. It's early, it's dawn. The sun's about to rise as the moon goes down. And we can see the resort in daylight now. It just looks worse. I think it was better at night. You couldn't see the details. Tortoise is still circling. And I thought there was no guests, but there actually was a couple. That water looks so beautiful and clean. See, I took away all of the landscaping as well. There was rocks and palm trees along the front of the beach there, but I took them away as well. Didn't want to run the risk that see, look at the flies. Didn't want to run the risk that the guests would enjoy something when they got to the resort. And there's actually a sim eating his breakfast at that yucky table. And the child. Let's see if we can get a look at them. The thing that got me is those hot dogs have actually started to putrefy. They've changed colour. Look at what that child's thought bubbles. He's not happy. I think it's father and son. They're not happy, are they? The poor little fellow, he must want his breakfast, but he's just sitting there looking at rotting hot dogs. He doesn't actually get to eat anything. He just sits there until he vanishes. I suspect he might have I couldn't find him after he vanished. I saw him vanish. He was just sitting at the table, and then he wasn't. See the buffet table? No food on it. There's dirty laundry lying around that. But it's still a beautiful day, and the sun's out, and the sand is nice and clean. We couldn't put drums of oil all over it, because I don't think you've got that in the Sims game. But that would have made it really yucky. Totally gross. And of course, if you get the place set up like this, the only way to get the badge is you must have a single Sim household, no other Sims at all in the household, and you can only own this one resort. If you own any more than one resort, you won't get the badge, it won't trigger. So you can make as big a mess of it as you want and not get the badge, and the reason would be you've either got more than one Sim in your household, or your Sim owns more than one resort. So once I got the badge for this resort, I had to get rid of it because the other badge I wanted to get was for running a 5-star resort. Now I've already built a 5-star resort when I was playing with the Isle of Paradiso bunch, and I never got the badge even though I ran it as a 5-star resort for weeks. And it was because I think they already owned another resort, and there was about 8 or 9 Sims in the household, so I had no chance. So what I did, when she had got the badge for this being a 0-star resort, I bulldozed it, and so it became a vacant community lot set to no visitors allowed, and the game sold it on her behalf. So she didn't even own the lot after that. And at that point, and I think she's already done it, but I'm not sure, but she will soon own Diver's Den Island. Now, it was on Diver's Den Island that I built the 5-star resort. So I had that resort in my library, the one I built for the Isle of Paradiso bunch, but never got the badge. So since I'd already done all of the work, I didn't want to go through the process of building it again from scratch. I just placed the resort into the Diver's Den Island lot. Look at this child just looking there at that sausage roll. They're father and son, actually. And all of a sudden, it all just vanishes. The game must reset them, I think. But the father turned up on the beach. See, they've gone. But I never saw the child again. There's the father, but I don't know what happened to the child. So when I placed the 5-star resort that I'd already built, and I had it in my library, and I put it on the lot in Diver's Den Island, she got the badge instantly, so she ended up with both of the badges very quickly in the end. It took her a while to get this one for 0-star resort. She's owned this resort for quite a while, and it did get down to 0 stars, and I'd waited 7 days while she was still working at a lifeguard career, and then all of a sudden she just got the badge. She didn't have to go there all the time. I just messed it up. I don't think she went there at all. let's check some of the menu items that you get with the resort. So that's the resort reviews. At this point it's got 0 stars, and I'm not sure if, see how some of those reviews have got giving it 1 star or half a star? I'm not sure if I had to wait for them to all clear or not. But I know she got the badge all of a sudden, and then I just bulldozed it. So I hope you've seen enough about Hobart's resort being turned into a 0-star resort, because that's all you're going to see. So she's back at work now in the lifeguard career, and she's rescuing Sims still. She's got to be close to achieving her lifetime wish, and I don't think that happens in this episode. She's got somebody up on the beach wanting to be given CPR to, by the look of it. This bloke's getting CPR first. I guess he's the one that counts, because it's the drowning, it's rescuing them from drowning that counts, not giving CPR. See, when I was having Sam and being the lifeguard for the Isla Paradiso bunch videos, I always had Judy or somebody on the beach giving the CPR to the other Sims that just wanted CPR. Actually, I think it's easier to do it with just the one Sim, because I was always getting confused with Sam and Judy or Sam and Meryl, or whoever I had working on the beach to help out. Because once she gets up to this stage, she's really quite fast at getting into the water. And the ones that are waiting for CPR, they'll just get up and walk away if they time's out, if she doesn't get there in time. But she's now rescuing quite a few drowning victims, so I'm hoping that the badge will trigger shortly, because then we can concentrate on other badges. So after the shift ended, she went diving, and because she's now a level 10 diver, she's allowed to wear her retro diving suit, and that's what she's wearing today. Remember, she already got the badge for beating 3 sharks in a fight. It was a couple of episodes ago. So she's not frightened of the sharks. She must be able to catch that pufferfish. Yes, she did. There's a dive cave there too. So that's enough. She can go home now. Back to practicing her mixology skill. As you can see, I've expanded down below in the basement a bit more. She's got more decor there now. I've turned the bar around, and she's got another room, which is like a second kitchen. I'm gradually making this because she's going to have a whole lot of friends living with her eventually, and she's really only got 2 bedrooms in the house above ground, and I don't want to change the look of the house upstairs, so the other friends will have to live down in the basement, and I'm just gradually building up the basement for her so her friends can move in. She'll have to have a friend with her as soon as possible, because I'll have 2 of them there when she's doing the 5 parties badge, so it'll probably be next episode when Wilma moves in. She's getting quite good with those drinks. Now that's her 5-star resort. We'll have a good look at it in another episode, but at this point she's now received the 2 badges, one for running a 0-star resort for 7 days and another one for running a 5-star resort for 7 days. I actually showed that resort in several episodes of the Isla Paradiso bunch. Oh, she's found a bottle. She must have been using their collection helper. The bottles show up as seashells on the collection helper. Looks like she's just doing around looking for bottles, looking for seashells. Hopefully she'll find enough bottles, because you've got to find a message in a bottle to get another island, and she's after a badge for getting all of the islands. And she must be close to that as well, because that's another badge you can't get if you've got more than 1 sim in the household. And I know that Wilma will be moving in shortly, but not with this episode, because my Isla Paradiso bunch Sims, they got all of the hidden islands and they never got the badge, but there was a huge household full of them. Then I found out that you have to have only a single Sim household, and she actually had to get 6 islands. The badge is to get 5 of the islands, and when she uncovered the 6th island is when she got the badge. But the more stuff she collects and sells, the faster we'll be able to build her basement, to make her basement bigger. That retro diving suit looks interesting, doesn't it? I don't usually use it. Even when my Sims have got it, I tend to just let them use the ordinary diving suit. But she's got it, so I thought I'd show it off. Upgrading her kitchen sink in her new kitchen. This was meant to be a secondary kitchen, but it wasn't long before it was the kitchen that she uses by choice. I think she likes it down here. So she did it. Now she's got to go to work. Rescue some more Sims from drowning. And after work she gets back to working on her mixology skill. When she gets hungry, she doesn't have far to go. She just walks through the doorway there. There's no actual door in the doorway. She just walks through a gap in the wall. And she's got a kitchen that she can cook on. I'm building this basement in a really strange way. I'm not building just one huge open area and then dividing it up into rooms. I'm just sort of making little tunnels between the rooms and only opening up parts of the basement. Not quite sure why I'm doing it that way, but that's the way it's happening. I suppose it does end up making the 2 rooms that I've got actually one room because there's no wall dividing them. It's just that I've only joined them by opening up that couple of squares between them. Now she's having another party on her houseboat. I think these are really just practice parties because they won't count towards the badge until she actually lives on the houseboat. But what I'm going to be doing now is setting up the houseboat so she can live on it, because when you get it, you download it from the exchange, it's got a few little things you need to fix up. And I need her to be able to have 2 people living on it as well, because there's going to be 2 of them in the household when she moves onto the houseboat. And it's really set up for a family, and I'll have 2 young adult Sims living on it. I just want to change things a little bit. All the living area that I'm going to change is below the waterline. See, there it is. But there's no way to get down to it. That's what the problem was. And I'll put a spiral staircase in that corner there where that speaker is. Had to shift the speaker. I think that's what I did. If you don't like the strobe lights, they are easy to get rid of. You've just got to... see those grey things in the corner of that room? They're up on the ceiling. They're grey sort of rectangles. It's right up against the side of the screen at the moment, on the right hand side. That's the strobe. I'll have to get rid of that in case people don't like it flashing. That's it for the strobes. I won't show any more strobe lights flashing. They seem to be enjoying the party. And that was a party on a houseboat, but don't think it'll count towards the badge. It doesn't matter anyway. She can keep having parties until she gets it. But the party on a houseboat one, apparently you don't need to have a single Sim household. Everybody's going home. They got happy party balloons over their heads, some of them. I'm going to do some work on the houseboat, put in some steps going down to the bedrooms and making sure those strobe lights have been deleted so that they won't come into any future videos. And that will be it. So that is the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. And don't forget, if you did enjoy it, please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, it would be greatly appreciated, because that gives me some confidence that people are actually enjoying some of these videos. So bye bye for now, and happy simming.